Good morning, and welcome back to the Essay Desk. This is episode 10 of our Writing Masterclass, a Sunday session where we sit with a single sentence and learn how to build an essay around it. The topic in front of us today is a topic about stillness, about the price a mind pays when it never slows. It belongs to the family of self and inner life, the hottest family in the essay paper of the last 5 years. And it can be prepared with real depth in a single writing session. Stay with me for the next few minutes, and you will leave with the architecture of a top band answer. Here it is on the page. A still lake shows the sky more clearly than a rushing river. Read it once, and then read it again. It is a Section A topic, abstract and aphoristic, in the voice UPSC now writes almost every paper in. The theme family is self, inner life, consciousness, and happiness. The paper has visited this family in 2020, 2021, 2023, 2024, and 2025, and its heat for 2026 is high. Treat it as a topic you might well see on the desk in front of you. Decoding is where most scripts already lose 10 marks. The sentence gives you two images, deliberately placed against each other. The rushing river is the modern self, always in motion, always producing, always answering the ping. The still lake is the reflective self, the mind at rest, capable of holding a sky it did not create. The tension the examiner is testing you on is the tension between pause and paralysis. Stillness is not withdrawal from action. It is the mirror that action itself needs. Miss that tension, and the essay collapses into a soft lecture on meditation. Now fix the thesis. One line written on your rough sheet before you touch the answer sheet, held to the very last paragraph. My suggestion for this topic is this. Stillness is action's clearest mirror, and a self, a society, and a state that cannot pause, cannot see, and what cannot see cannot govern itself. Notice what this thesis does. It scales the metaphor upward. It refuses to treat stillness as a merely private virtue. It insists that the lake is also a public good. That single move lifts you into the top band. With the thesis fixed, build the dimensions. For this topic, I would suggest 7, and the order matters, because momentum is what makes an essay feel argued rather than assembled. Begin philosophical, with the classical inheritance. The ancient sense that the seer must be seated to see. Move to the psychological, where attention is the mind's true currency, and where a scrolling India has quietly become an anxious India. Then step into the cultural, where the poet, the painter, and the singer have always known that art demands solitude. From there, move to the historical, where Ashoka turned still after Kalinga, and where Gandhi kept Mondays in silence to hear a country whose language he was still learning. Then the governance dimension, because a state that legislates in a hurry legislates for regret. Then the ethical, where dignity itself needs interior room to grow, a claim implicit in Article 21 of the Constitution. And close forward-looking, on the age of artificial intelligence, where the machine speed becomes the test of our self-command. 7 lenses, each answering a question the last one raised. Anchors are what separate a vivid essay from a vague one. For this topic, I would deploy 5, no more, and each one interpreted, not just dropped. Ashoka after Kalinga is your historical anchor, a man who conquered until he sat still, and only in that stillness saw what he had done. Gandhi's Monday silence is your everyday counterpart, the discipline of one quiet day in 7, kept for decades of public life. Then bring in the scale of our present rush. According to DataReportal's Digital 2026 India report, 1.03 billion Indians were using the internet by October 2025, with online penetration at 70%. Cite the Asia Center study of 2023, which found the average Indian spends about 3.2 hours a day on social networking apps. Finally, hold up the cost. Drawn from the National Council of Educational Research and Training's Mental Health and Well-Being of School Students survey, 43% of Indian adolescents reported mood swings, 14% extreme emotion, and 11% anxiety. Deploy each figure and then supply the logic. A number left to stand alone is a wasted line. This is the highest value slide, so lean in. For this topic, do not open with a definition of stillness, and do not begin with the phrase, "in today's world." You will lose the examiner in the first 10 seconds. Open instead with a scene the examiner can see. A tired thumb on a lit screen at 11 at night. A river of notifications the eye can no longer read. A mind that has forgotten what its own silence sounds like. From that image, move in 3 careful lines to the thesis and let the dimensions unfold. For the conclusion, resist the urge to summarize. Circle back to the lake. Do not say the 2 words, in and conclusion. Say something like, "The river will not stop, but the citizen who has learned to be a lake for a few hours each day can still see the sky." The essay ends where the image began, but higher up. That is craft. Here is one model line you may adapt for your own conclusion. To govern the age of the algorithm, the citizen must first learn to hear the sound of her own thinking, and to sit still long enough to hear it. Read it slowly and notice the movement. It scales from the citizen to the age. It resolves the tension without preaching, and it leaves the reader with something to carry away. Do not copy it word for word. Rewrite it in your own cadence, using your own image, until the line feels like yours. Let us gather the moves. First, decode the 2 mirrors, the river and the lake, and see the tension the examiner is asking you to hold. Second, fix the thesis in 1 line on the rough sheet before you touch the answer sheet. Third, build 7 dimensions in an order with momentum, from philosophy to psychology to culture to history to governance to ethics to the future. Fourth, land 3 or 4 sourced anchors, each interpreted, none merely dropped. Fifth, close with a callback to the opening image lifted higher. Do this, and the paper you write on stillness will not be still. It will move the examiner. That is our session for today. The essay paper is a long climb, and some mornings the mind feels like the rushing river and not the still lake. Sit anyway. Write anyway. The paper rewards the aspirant who returns quietly, week after week, long after the loud ones have stopped. If you would like the full written brief, with 2 complete model essays and the examiner's margin commentary keyed to each paragraph, write to us at team@upscdesk.com or leave your email in the comments below. See you tomorrow.